Good morning. Thursday today, and we are dealing with helping verbs, and specifically is what I'm trying to say. Those two words, has and have. Now, I'm not trying to fast forward through these first two slides, but I do want to briefly describe again, so we don't lose focus where we're at. Action verbs describe what someone or something is doing. Who or what did something? She. That's the subject. What does she do? Tasted. That is the verb. Sometimes they need a little help, which is why they're called helping verbs, right? She, what is she doing? Is leaving. Or I, what am I doing? Have finished. That just kind of helps the main verb along, but you got to remember the helping verb is different than the main verb. Here's a whole list of helping verbs that we talked about. You can notice here how they work together. I am studying. The turtles will crawl. Many people could visit. That all works together, and you have this chart again today for all the helping verbs. We're still focusing on have and has because they're so specific in when they need to be used. For the most part, and I'm purposely saying for the most part, like we learned yesterday, if the subject is singular, you use has. The subject is no S, you use has with an S. If the subject is plural, like girls, and has an S, you use have, which doesn't have an S. That's kind of the main rule. However, you do use have when you use the pronouns I, they, and we, right? I have a jumping rope. They have new clothes. That's when you use have. We also had this chart, which has a lot of information, but when you use have, and when you use has. Now, if the subject is a pronoun with he, she, or it, then you use has. It has its own house. She has a new car, right? And things like that. Or again, with singular nouns, the field has been seeded, so on and so forth. What I'm hoping might work best today, my fine folks, is just going through them. Okay, going through some examples to help you with your assignment today. So I want you to go through this, and don't worry about had. I want you to work with has or have. And I also want to explain why. So, look at number one. Mary blank a book. Mary blank a book. Which one makes sense? And you steal what we talked about yesterday. Put both has or have in the sentence and read it and see which one sounds right. Mary has a book, or Mary have a book. I think most of you are going to correctly decipher that it's Mary has a book, H-A-S. And why, you ask? Well, Mary is singular, right? Only one Mary, and that's when you use has. Number two, a rabbit, long ears. Which one is correct? In this case, you would again use has, because here's a singular one subject. It's just one rabbit, no S, so therefore use has, which does have an S. Now here's a person named Shiv. Shiv, a new bicycle. Has or have? Has or have? Well, Shiv is again, just like Mary in number one, only one person. So therefore we use has. Now before we think everything is has, let's go to number four. They breakfast at 6:30 this morning. Now you could add both in, but they has breakfast at 6:30 this morning, or they have breakfast at 6:30 this morning. I think most of you would correctly decipher that as have. You say, wait, Mr. Ponga, there's no S here, but say right. But remember, when you use the pronoun they, that's talking about plural or more than one person, they, right? And so, therefore, you use have, right? How about number 6, though? I, many friends. Is this has or have? I has many friends, or I have many friends? I think you'd write have, H-A-V-E, because you're right. Even though I is singular, every time, it's just the rule. Every time with I, you would write have, H-A-V-E. Again, just the rule. Now, this is another way I'm hoping to help you understand. Notice they don't have any subjects here. So you think, oh man, how are we supposed to do this? Well, you're going to have to look at the pictures, right? And what you're going to have to do is match this phrase here to the picture so that it makes sense. You got to use your background knowledge that we learned today and yesterday with, when do I use has? Oh yeah, with a singular subject. So, has a car. Well, I see cars here or car here. Now this is plural, this is singular, and I know through my background knowledge that has to be used with a singular subject. So I could put he, right? He has a car. Or if you want to give him a name, you could say, Larry has a car, right? Still singular, one person. Now, you probably correctly deciphered then that, of course, this goes to here because they have cars. Or you can put a plural noun. The kids have cars, right? Now we're dealing with wings. Well, I see one bird singular here, or two birds. Now it doesn't look like a big bird, but those are two birds, right? So which one is has, which one is have? You put right. The bird has wings. The birds have wings. And here we have bike and bike. Again, has is singular. The man has a bike. Or here, they... Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that up there. It should be they have a bike. I'm sorry about that. They have a bike, right? Because it's plural. Now again, book and book. She has a book, or give her a name. Mary has a book, or they have a book, or the children have a book. The kids have a book, so on and so forth. So that's just really what you got to focus on when you're dealing with that. To help you remember that is indeed what you need to do with the subject. You got to know if it's a singular subject, it usually is has, and if it is a plural subject, it goes with have. So, getting to your assignment, you again have this with has or have. Now, you do need to write the sentence out. You're going to be okay. There's only 8 of them. But what I like is they give you the subject. They underline the subject, and that's where you really got to decipher. Okay, with this subject, well, this is plural. Do I use has or have? You also got to be careful with these pronouns, because that changes the rule too. Use this chart. He, she, or it, use has. I, you, with they, use have. So rewrite the sentence and just put one of these words correctly in there, just like they did here. Teachers have studied hard. And that'll show me you know the difference of when to use has and have as a helping verb. Hey, Lord's blessings to you guys as you praise your Savior. We're going to have one more English class this week tomorrow. We'll see you then.